We're just a couple weeks into the NBA season, but we've already seen a lot of changes in the award races, so that's exactly what we're going to look at. If you guys have been watching my content for a while, you know this is one of my favorite things to talk about, so if you want to see more content following these races as the season goes on, hit the sub button, smash the like button, let's aim for 69 likes on today's video, and let's get into this. Now before we go further, I want to make this very clear. A lot of people have been confused in previous videos. We are talking about Las Vegas's odds, not my opinion. As much as people like to think they know a lot about basketball or really any subject, you never know more than Vegas. It is always the best representation of the current race. Lately, I've seen things like Basketball Reference's MVP tracker getting talked about a lot on Twitter. Don't pay any mind to that. They currently have Jimmy Butler and Rudy Gobert as the frontrunners to win MVP. Like, what? Right now, Vegas is giving Jimmy Butler the 17th best odds and Rudy Gobert the 32nd. It is extremely unlikely that these guys win, and if you don't think that's the case, you can make a lot of money. For this video, we're going to start with the smaller awards and work our way up. Probably the least talked about award is Sixth Man of the Year, a race that's changed a lot. Going into the season, there was a very clear favorite, and that was last year's winner Jordan Clarkson. He came in with 5-1 odds, the next closest being Kevin Huerter at 12-1. So far this season, a guy that wasn't even given odds has climbed up all the way to the biggest lead of any of the awards, and that's Tyler Herro. I guess Vegas wasn't sure what his role would be, but it looks like this season, he's going to be coming off the bench, a role he's absolutely thrived in. He's gone to 22 points, up from 15 last season, to go along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 41% from 3. I tried to tell y'all this offseason, he was going to shut a lot of people up. He's currently sitting at just 2-1, and he's actually in the running for another award, which we'll get to. The preseason favorite Jordan Clarkson is at second. He's got a lot of room to make up after a pretty slow start to the season. He's averaging 14 points, shooting 34% from the field. Then there's another former winner in Montrezl Harrell of the Wizards. He's at third at 14-1. He's been a huge part of why the Wizards have been such a surprising team so far. He's averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds. Then fourth is a guy I've been super impressed with so far, and that's Cam Reddish. He's at 14-1. He got off to a super hot start, but he's still having a really solid season, averaging 14 points, shooting 41% from 3. Then fifth is Buddy Hield, doing his usual 17 points a game, shooting 40% from 3 on 10 attempts. I'm really not sure why he isn't in second. 25-1 seems a little enticing. Next, we've got Defensive Player of the Year, a race that's starting to lose a lot of interest with how many repeat winners we've been having. And honestly, we're not going to be talking about it too much, as this race really hasn't changed all that much. The preseason favorites are still the favorites for the most part. The heavy favorite is the winner of 3 of the last 4, Rudy Gobert. He's at 2.8-1. After that, it's Anthony Davis at 5-1, then Giannis and Miles Turner, then Bam, Joel, and Draymond. No real surprises. Next up is one of my favorite races to follow, and one that looks extremely interesting this season, and that's Most Improved. It looks so much different than it did going into the year. The heavy preseason favorites were the Porter Juniors, Michael and Kevin, and no, they're not related. Michael was the slight favorite. He came in with extremely high expectations after landing a max rookie extension, but man, has he struggled to start the year. He's already seen his odds shoot up to 40-1. He's averaging 11 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 36% from the field and 22% from 3. After averaging 17 in his first season in Houston, everyone was expecting big things from Kevin Porter Jr., but he's gone up to 35-1 after averaging just 12 points and 5 assists, shooting 40% from the field so far this year. There's some new clear favorites. At 4.5-1, you've got none other than Miles Bridges. People are talking about Bridges right now, but I don't think enough people are. There was so much hype for LaMelo in his rookie season. You would think that a possible co-star breaking out on his team would have people going crazy, but that really hasn't been the case. He's gonna get paid this summer. He's averaging 24 points and 8 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field and 37% from 3. This is up from 13 points and 6 rebounds last season. Now he's basically tied with JimmerRange, who's at 5-1, and honestly, I think he should be the favorite. We've seen in recent years that they give the benefit of the doubt to the players that take the jump to the league's elite, and that's exactly what Morant has done this season. I would say last year was pretty disappointing. He put up practically identical numbers from his rookie year on worse efficiency. This year it's been a whole different story. He's gone from 19 points all the way up to 27, 8 assists and 6 rebounds, shooting 52% from the field and 37% from 3. And he really shows no signs of slowing down. Honestly, I would get 5-1 while you still can. There's a massive gap between these guys in third place, who's someone we've already talked about, Tyler Herro, who's at 16-1. How crazy would it be for a bench player to win this award. I highly doubt it, but you really never know. Behind him, you've got Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, who yes should be taking big jumps, but it's really hard to win this award in your second season, as your second year jump is almost expected at this point from former top picks. After them, everyone is 25-1 or higher. You've got guys like Jordan Poole, OG Anunoby, and Lonzo Ball. Now we've got probably the craziest race so far, and that's Rookie of the Year. Following the draft, there was a clear favorite, that being Cade Cunningham, the #1 pick. There was also a clear runner-up, the 2nd overall pick Jalen Green. Surprise, surprise. But the race got a little bit more interesting in the Summer League when Green closed the gap, and the two entered the season with practically identical odds at plus 250. Things have changed a lot since then. Cunningham missed the first few games of the year, they're still easing him back, and during his time out there, he's struggled to score the ball. He's already down to 3rd place. First is now Jalen Green, who's at 3.3-1. If the season ended today, I don't think anyone would give it to him with his efficiency struggles. Vegas is clearly expecting him to get better as the season goes on, and I think that's fair to expect. I think the gap between him and Cade is a little excessive though. The real interesting part of this race is who's jumped into 2nd. The 4th overall pick to the Raptors, Scotty Barnes, who's now at 4-1. I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but I don't think anyone expected him to do this early on in his career. This is a guy that averaged 10 points off the bench in college. He was getting all of his attention for his playmaking and defense, but he's come in and he's already averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds and 2 assists, shooting 55% from the field. His play so far has made this race super fun, but he isn't the only one improving his odds. Evan Mobley, the 3rd overall pick in the draft, is now in 4th, averaging 13-8 and over a steal and a block a game. Probably the biggest riser so far, though, is Chris Duarte, who we've talked about a lot. I honestly think his odds should be better than 8-1. 9 games into the season, while he's already approaching Social Security, he's averaging 17 points, shooting 43% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. Another huge riser is Josh Giddey at plus 1600. I told you guys that him being outside of the top 10 coming into the season at plus 3000 made no sense. There were so many guys ahead of him that we had no idea what their role would look like. That wasn't the case with Giddey. He was walking into a starting role on arguably the worst team in the league. I also brought up that due to his frame, he was probably going to be stuffing the box score, which he has. He's averaging 11, 6, and 6. Don't be surprised if he continues to climb. This race is really heating up. It's really anyone's right now, and I think it's going to be extremely fun to follow as this year goes on. Then lastly, we've got the biggest award of them all, the most valuable player. Now we've actually seen some changes. Coming into the year, Luka Doncic was again the heavy favorite in back-to-back seasons, but he's fallen to 2nd at 6.5-1. The best odds currently are in the hands of Stephen Curry. I'm just saying, when he was at 4th with 11-1 odds going into the season, in my last video, you can go look, I said he was my pick to win the award. With the Warriors looking ready to compete, even with Curry shooting just 42% from the field, he now sits at 5.5-1, and honestly, I still think it's the best odds to take. Tied for 3rd currently is going to be both Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant. This is about where they were going into the season. After them, it's Joel Embiid, then Jokic, then LeBron. This is going to be an interesting race as the award is typically given to the best player on a team with one of the top seeds. But you've got a lot of teams out there like the Jazz and the Heat that have gotten off to great starts record-wise, but don't really have a guy that can compete for this award. Everything is going to change a lot as the season goes on, so I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Who's taking home every award? If you guys like the content, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.